Hi Shraddha,
Hi,
we
Ravi.
have Shraddha Srinath who played Satya and Krishna and his Leela.
Hi,
So
man.
now hi. So it's almost the second weekend, and since the film is on, it's also streaming on AHA from July 4th. We thought we could do something fun with all you guys. Yesterday I went on the same live session with Siddhu, and it was really fun.
Yeah,
So it's about love and relationships in general.
right.
So since because I've been getting a lot of comments on about the film saying that my perspective has changed after I've seen Krishna and his Leela, and or people who are stuck from a long time found their answers, and these were multiple comments that I personally received.
Right.
So I thought I went and I was thinking why we did this film in the first place, because it was relatable at some point to all of us, right?
Yeah.
So I thought we could just talk about love and relationships in general,
Mhm.
and let's not feel like as you feel like a salesman, and not promote just the film saying that our film is looking good, our film is really nice, please do watch it. More than that, I thought it would be fun if we do something on this topic. So we have some questions from the public.
Okay, sure.
So before we go to the questions, I want to ask you something as Shraddha. Okay,
Mhm.
so what does love really mean to you?
Um, for me, love comes in various forms. It means companionship. It means
Okay, so we're live now with Shraddha Srinath, who played Satya.
yeah. It means companionship. It means equality. It means um, unconditional sort of sharing of love and burdens and responsibilities. That is, if you talk about love in a part, like love
Yeah,
with
yeah. Let's focus only on partners, because
right. Yeah.
yeah. So do you think that it has become a very important need nowadays to find the perfect partner for you? Do you think that is a stress that really modern relationships have, or the modern people are anxious about?
Yeah, I remember being in that phase in college when I was like, when am I going to meet that like guy? I mean, I remember being single for a really long time, and I remember going to places. I remember like whining to my friends saying, why am I not dating somebody? Why am I not meeting the right guy? What is this right guy? Am I expecting too much out of a man, sort of thing? um, Maybe some of it is peer pressure, where you're expected pardon me, where you're expected to it's so I mean your status is sort of elevated if you have like a nice cool good
Good
looking
question. Yeah.
partner. Yeah, yeah. But I feel like if you introspect and think of yourself and not just for the world, it's great if you're in love and you have a partner and you have that somebody at the end of the day. I think it's a beautiful thing, regardless of what societal demands are, etc., etc. There should be no pressure. Find love when you can, experiment, make mistakes, etc., etc., and it will come to you. The right person will come to you. He'll walk into your life.
But do you believe ultimately everybody is going to find their own person? Do you think that one needs another person? I mean, for
But,
survival. I mean,
uh,
what's your take on that?
I feel life is enriched if you have someone. It's definitely a special life, a sort of. I mean, it's a life that you're sharing. So you're not just living yourself, but your daily routine, your daily habits, everything that happens during a day, you're sharing with someone. So it's like a secret little something that the world is so huge, and you have like a tiny, beautiful relationship that's just yours. That's special. But I don't. I does everyone find someone in the end? Maybe they do, maybe they're right, maybe they're not. But I feel like the search always continues. Sometimes you find the person, but you still question this. You're like, is this the person? I mean, are you sure there's not someone else for me out there? So love is such a mysterious thing. It will make you overuse and over exhaust your brains and your heart and your emotions.
But also tell me something. There'll be a lot of people who are stuck and who are not able to move on. What do you
Right.
have to say about them, or why do you think moving on is important, if you think so?
Moving on, I feel like people come and go, things happen, like, you know, it's a world full of like a billion of people. um like your sob stories,
Yeah.
nothing's going to change the world. Like, the world goes on,
Yeah.
life goes on, right?
Yeah.
So moving on is important for your, you know, mental health, and for, you know, like, for the sake of your other friends also, who will want you to move on. And honestly, there's no point in forcing yourself to move on. It just happens. It's like falling in love. You never force yourself to fall in love with somebody. It just happens without you even realizing. Even moving on is a lot like that. One day you'll feel like you'll realize that you're not hurt anymore, you don't miss them so much anymore. So like, again, like after death, you know, after someone dies, you think that it's the end of the world, you'll never enjoy life again, but you move on, right? Even after some like loss of a dear person, dear one. One day you realize that, okay, that person's death was a part of many other things that happened in my life. So you carry on in life. Similarly, relationships and breakups, you realize that it was a small thing in a larger universe of life. So yeah.
So you say we should give ourselves enough time.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
So do you believe in remaining friends with your exes?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. And also finding a partner who's okay with being friends with your exes. That's
Yeah.
also important. I mean, you have to accept the fact that at some point in time, they were really like a really important part of
Exactly.
your life.
Yeah.
And nothing can take that away. Like, you can't erase that. Okay, you know, like ex-boyfriend, matlab, forget about, you know, the time that you had it happened. Nobody will take that away. The relationship you share, the time, the emotions, the memories, no one can take that away. And so for that reason alone, it's lovely if you can be friends with your ex.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Personal. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the 5 things you believe a relationship is based on? 5
um
or any number. You don't have to keep a
right.
count.
Okay. um Personal space, very important. Nobody can believe that they own you just because you're in a relationship. So personal space is very important. Trust is very important. Um, Also, what do you say? I keep emphasizing on this, but equality is very important. Uh,
Yeah.
like, different rules do not apply to the man and the woman in the relationship.
True.
Uh, um, yeah, these are the three that come off the top of my head. Also, yeah, of course, I mean, like, emotional compatibility.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no like perfect person. um yeah, so like the broad in like in the broader scheme of things, these are the more important things that will make a relationship last long, I feel.
Since you brought up the perfect person topic, I want to ask you something else. How would you adjust with someone's flaws,
uh,
or
right,
accept them?
that's a great question. um I feel if you're like in pursuit of that perfect person, that perfect soulmate, I feel like movies have taught us this, um have made us believe that there is a someone out there who's your soulmate. I don't
Yeah.
believe it's true. I feel like, Ravi, you are my soulmate in one sense. My friends may be my soulmates in another sense, and my boyfriend may be my soulmate in many aspects.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that we need to sort of like uh, clear from our brains, that there is no perfect soulmate. um, Flaws, of course there will be flaws. There is no one who's tailor made for you. Like, there's no checklist. That it's a bit ridiculous. I feel red flags are red flags. If there are glaring flaws right from the beginning of your relationship, and you need to sort of realize, and you can't think that, okay, in a few, like, he'll change, or he'll get better, or things like that. Like, red flags, now you need to know what your red flags are.
Yeah.
For me, it's emotional cheating is a red flag. um, sort of, and there's so many other things. So like what you can absolutely not compromise on, those things you must not. If it's a small thing like he's left his wet towel on the bed, it's a small thing, you can deal with it. Mistakes are allowed.
Yeah, that's all right. Okay, I think we pretty much covered the next question also. It says, what are the 3 things you would want in an ideal man? There is no ideal man. For
I have
sure.
other things.
You
Let
have
me
other
talk
things.
about more superficial things.
Okay, okay.
I love it when my, I mean, okay, my partner should have some sort of inclination towards the arts. He should appreciate art in the form of whatever,
It could be anything.
books, movies, wines, etc. It would be great if he, I don't know, smelled really good. I love men who smell really lovely. Yeah, and I'm a man who respects my career and my passion. Yeah.
That's it. The perfume stocks are going out of stocks from tomorrow. Boys are going to buy a lot of perfumes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we have questions from the public now. It's from Nitish. What was Shraddha's first impression on the film script?
I thought it was really funny in places, like very urban kind of humor, not forced, but very, like the kind of humor that goes on in when you're sitting with your college gang, that kind of humor. It's not forced, it's not slapstick. There was that for me, which I haven't done much of. Also, it spoke of love and romance. For me, every time I listen to a film or a narration, it's always about what I've not done before or what I'd like to see myself doing. So there was romance and there was everything. And of course, what stood out for me was the characters were all so unique, right? It was not as though if at the end of the script I'm like, okay, Satya's character is going to stand out. No, everyone's character is so competitively placed and so deep. In fact, the audiences would have a tough time picking who their favorite is. So I thought the characters were really strong and very, very, very deeply written.
Okay. The next question is from Ramya. Did the independent Satya go back to Krishna because he's familiar, or she actually liked him?
Well, there's the answer to this is in the movie. She is, when they were together, she wanted him to be a certain person. And after all these years, after the breakup and after many more experiences in Krishna's life, he's become what she always wanted him to be. The kind of guy she would never break up with. So she goes back to him. Of course, there's that sense of having familiarity. You've spent a considerable amount of time together. So there's no starting from scratch. But yeah, he's kind of everything she wanted him to be and she wants in her man. Yeah.
Okay, Shraddha, this is out of topic. I wanted to ask you a personal question.
Okay.
I have a question that I have generally.
Okay.
Tell me something. If a guy is committed to someone, okay, and will that make him oddly satisfying? I mean, I don't know. Will that make him interesting to any woman? That sort of thing. Because I've seen these cycles repeating here and there in a few lives. And the moment that when the guy or the girl is in a relationship with a particular someone,
Right.
the opposite sex finds them more attractive for some reason because they're not available.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm asking, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, at some level you feel like, okay, so I mean he's committed, so what? I feel like it's right now the way I'm speaking, I feel like it's morally wrong.
Very wrong.
Yeah, because I'm now in such a happy place in my relationship and everything, and like a few years ago I'd have said, okay, so he's in a relationship, I'm not asking him anything, but I'm just interested in him. Nobody can stop me, I have that right. I think it's that odd kind of thrilling challenge when you know that someone's committed and
Oh shit. That's like a game.
yeah, gosh, sound very like villainous right now.
Yeah, but tell me something, that is evolution, right?
What?
I mean, for you personally, that would have been a character arc, right? That would have been an evolution. So, if what would you say to someone who's in that stage and who's passing through that phase right now?
Where they're attracted to someone who's
Yeah,
committed.
yeah,
I would say that relationships are built on, there's a lot of effort that goes into building relationships. I mean, it takes, time, and it takes a lot of a lot of strength from both people to build a beautiful relationship. And I mean, it can be like fun for somebody to play around, but I feel like I feel like it's just wrong to
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, what is Satya's favorite kind of music?
um I love jazz music, but the
Yeah, Satya.
okay, sorry, yes, Satya.
It was like it's like a quiz, this Comic Con quizzes.
Okay, Satya's favorite music would be I think fusion. Probably likes a lot of like
Wrong. It's classic rock.
classic rock. Oh, okay. Oh,
Uh,
okay. So you have the answer, and I have to tell you. I have to say the right answer.
no, no. I was just looking if you would, waiting if you would say the right answer.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Next question is from Rajshekhar. Apart from Satya, which character would Shraddha like to play?
Yo. Uh,
Say nothing.
yeah. Nothing. Nothing. Yeah.
Siddhu or Krishna?
Siddhu.
Okay. Move on to the next segment. We have, this is the last segment. Who would be the ideal company for a pajama party? Choose between two: Radha or Shalini, Ruksar or Seerat, Krishna or Siddhu.
For a pajama party. Krishna.
If you had the option to swap your real life with a character in the film, who would be the perfect pick?
My real life or a character in the film.
Yeah.
I would say Satya.
Okay. What is the one thing about Satya that you just don't understand?
And I just don't understand. Um. Gosh, this is tough.
Why she is inclined towards Krishna, even though Krishna is with Radha? That part.
I have an answer for that. I mean, I know why she's. There's nothing that I don't understand about Satya. I feel like she's fairly comprehensive as a person.
To Shraddha, would Krishna be an ideal friend or love interest?
A good friend, yeah.
If Satya had to undo one moment in his love life, what would that be in her love life?
Um, Maybe the breakup. Maybe she would tell him exactly what the problem is. I feel like at some level, the breakup happened very, I wouldn't say abruptly, but she could have, like, everything can be solved by talking, right? I think that's also the point of the film, by being honest and having a conversation. So yeah, I think by just talking and telling him what the real problem in the relationship is, I think there would have been no Radha. That whole circle would not have happened. But yeah, I think if it's one thing I could change, I would probably change that.
Tell me something, since we're talking about the breakup scene. Are there any boys in your real life who were madly, who were bothering you by texting "I love you" to death and all that? Who disturbed your space and who kind of not letting you breathe? Were there someone like that? Did you
I was
see
not in
someone
a
like
relationship with this guy. We were just seeing each other. And I remember I was in a hostel back then. I was in college, and something happened. And the next morning, I woke up with like 40 missed calls, and my phone, like which I've put like fully charged, was nearly dead. And I couldn't understand why. And I woke up thinking someone died, but it was just something very silly. I think he was drunk the previous night and he just wanted to speak to me or something. And I was in a girls' hostel, so there was no, yeah. So I thought it was. It turned me off a lot. I said, why would anyone behave like that? It gave me like a very weird vibe. Yeah, but I've never been in relationships in a relationship with someone who sort of really overstepped lines and sort of didn't give me space. I've been with very progressive and nice boys, men.
Great. If you were given a choice to save only one, who would you choose out of the three girls?
Okay, what is this? Yeah. If
I
anyone
was
answers anything but their own character, they're lying to you. I would pick Satya. Cool girl.
okay. If you were to rewrite one trait of each character, what would you change?
Rewrite a trait.
A trait of each character, or Satya in this case.
Um, Satya, I would. Trait that I would want to change of hers. No, I can't think of anything. I can't. Everything's so perfect.
Okay, this is an interesting question. If Satya and Radha ever got a chance to speak to each other while Krishna was two timing them,
Right.
what would their conversation have been like?
So they know that this guy is two timing. Let's say, right?
Yeah.
We talk about. We would talk about the good things about Krishna, like and why we love him, and we would also talk about why we deserve someone who is less confused and gives us what we deserve.
Tell me something. Since we're talking about this, what's your whole take on this drama? I mean, I know for a fact that you're very content with relationships and love right now.
Right.
But do you think that these confusions are normal, or why would these confusions arise in the first place?
When you, it's. I feel like at some level that we are, bound to. We're expected to pick one person, and that one person becomes our happily ever after. Is a thing that is it's an unwritten rule, right? That the society has sort of instilled in us. I mean, obviously we know that you can only have one. Wait, what was the question?
Why do you think this?
Why would these questions arise? Right? I feel like it's when you sort of question these rules and you say, why should I pick one, or why am I sort of following these rules, or someone who wants more out of life, someone who doesn't see that it's wrong that someone brings out like this part of you, like the best in you, and the other person is perfect for you in in another sense. But I feel like if we were talking about reality though, and the fact that we have to live in the society, it's when you I think you're just sort of looking for that perfect person, and until then, and until you find them, you're just looking. You want like different things in different people. Why do these? Yeah, I don't know if my answer is satisfactory. I'm trying to say something, but I'm not able to express it.
I know, I get it. And also, trust takes time, right? To trust someone and to build a relationship on it, you need to give it its own time.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if a relationship is a commitment, then obviously it takes time. You can't just rush into something.
Yeah.
Until then, you're just fishing in the ocean, sort of.
What's the craziest thing you have done in love? Out of love.
I was in law school, and I had exams, and my boyfriend broke up with me, and I had an exam the next day. I was in a really terrible shape, and I had an exam the next day. I was so terribly affected. I mean, I remember that being a very, very low point in my life. And I remember, so this is when I had no scooty or no car to drive. So and like no money in my pocket also. I had a bus pass. So, and my boyfriend lived really far away. To go there, I would have to change 3 buses, right? From point A to B to C to D, whatever. I remember I I mean, a smarter me would have thought, okay, let exams finish or just call him up. But I said no. I dropped everything and I just went to his house to like beg him. I remember I begged him that day. Oh my God, I feel like it's such a like a lifetime ago. But yeah, I thought that was biggest thing that I ever did in a relationship. I literally begged. Now it feels so
Funny? How
yeah,
do you feel now? Do you feel funny about it?
I feel really funny, and I'm like, I mean, if a man were crying in front of me begging me, I'd be like, yuck, get lost. Maybe I came across as yuck, so like pathetic. Yeah, I feel a little embarrassed right now.
So, okay, this is a final question. Write a matrimonial ad for Satya.
Not fair, cannot cook, extremely well educated, has her own life. Marry
Insists
her.
you to get your own life.
Yes, your own life. Marry at your own. What is that? Caution? No, marry at your own risk. Something like that.
Okay, so these are the questions. So, do you want to close it? I mean, how do you want? However, you want to close it.
So we just got like some statistics, but I've heard that we're doing extremely well on AHA. We're reaching every corner of the states and the Telugu speaking population. I'm just really happy because in the end, I mean, a lot of people might think, oh no, you didn't get a theatrical release, but I'm so happy that we're able to reach everyone through their laptop screens or mobile screens or TV screens. And if you're liking it, I'm really thrilled because it took 3 years of my life and more of Ravi and Siddhu's life. So it was well worth it. Every second was well worth it. And I'm just really thrilled. Yeah.
Great. So that's about it. We'll close it. Hope to see you again, Shraddha.
Yeah, man. For sure.
Bye. Signing
Bye.
off.
See ya.